Well, local sheriff's officials say inquiries about concealed carry permits for firearms have spiked after last week's terror attacks in San Bernardino. Officials say that interest in concealed weapons permits typically surges following high-profile mass shootings. The sheriff's department did not provide any specific numbers about the amount of applications submitted for concealed weapons permits. But again, this is the item in the news. This is the Sir, but then your career really took off after that as an expert in this area.
It has.
You are working on how many active investigations around the country right now?
Right now I'm working on about a little over 60 homicide investigations. About 95% of those are officer-involved shootings, in-custody deaths nationwide.
So you, as an expert in this, when you go in to investigate, what are you looking at? What's your area of responsibility here?
I'm a forensic expert, and so what we use applied science. Now, we have the nation's only multidisciplinary forensic death investigations team. So we have homicide professionals, medical professionals, ballistics people. We can do everything that the Federal Bureau of Investigations can do except for DNA. We have our own labs. So we look at things multidisciplinarily, and I'm the police practices and also one of the medical experts on our team.
And you're one of the top trainers in the world in this area in terms of firearms safety, combat training, and so forth. I don't think you're surprised when you see the spike in interest in the public right now, and that police chief back east somewhere that says, I want all my citizens to get legally armed. That's probably not an unexpected response, is it?
No, it's not. People have a right to be concerned about their personal safety. Just look at what's going on nationwide and then even locally in our own backyard in San Bernardino. And so I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment, obviously, as a retired police officer. I know that police cannot get to citizens on time.
They had SWAT training just 4 minutes away from where this incident took place in San Bernardino. Got there in a miraculous short amount of time, and yet the shooters were gone.
Right. And I think what we need is people are going out there and buying these firearms. I just want them to be properly trained. Now, there is a huge interest in the carrying concealed program. And we run the training, we do a lot. We don't run it, but we provide all of the training as approved by both San Diego County and by Riverside County. And our classes are through the roof right now. And we teach them not only the firearm safety, but what it means to carry concealed for your protection and the protection of other people.
We could do an hour special on this, and we're going to flat run out of time. But what I found in my experience as a journalist and as a police officer when I was working in Arizona and they first started offering concealed carry permits, the folks that were legally trained, the folks that were legally carrying and went through the training, and I think they issued 40,000 permits in the first year that they offered that, not one of those people got into trouble.
No, and I think that's because there's a vetting process that goes on with people that are going to be carrying concealed. I think both of the counties, Riverside and San Diego, do a great job. I'm also from Texas, and I'm very familiar with Texas law enforcement. They do a wonderful job, and many people carry concealed in the state of Texas. So it's all about the vetting process and the training that the people get.
So to that end, let's use a little bit of time that we have left here to talk to folks about getting up to your facility, getting the proper training, and heck, folks might decide after they go through the training that it's not for them. They're not comfortable because they will learn about the responsibility of carrying concealed as well.
That's exactly correct. And if they can go online and go to streetsafedefense.com, very easy to remember, streetsafedefense.com, they can learn about what our programs are all about. And if we get them in the program and we find through our own vetting process that, this is not for you, we still provide a tremendous amount of personal safety training, home safety training, all sorts of training like that.
You'll do everything from folks from, out of the box, they've never handled a firearm before, to folks that are experienced that want to step up different level of proficiency.
Exactly. We have so many great instructors. They're almost all law enforcement instructors, and we customize the training for the people as well. Starting January, we are going to have our own civilian response to active shooters program, and then also an escape and evasion program for people that are armed. Because sometimes civilians get caught out in the front of things, like in San Bernardino. I don't know if the public knows that before the terrorists even got into the building, they were killing people outside of the building before they went in. So if you are an armed person, how do you escape and evade?
All right. Ron, thanks so much for coming in this morning. Again, just scratching the surface of that discussion, but I invite you to get in touch with Ron and his organization and continue that conversation. Website again?
StreetSafeDefense.com.
StreetSafeDefense.com. Thanks, Ron.
Thanks you so much.
Thanks for coming in. Thanks for all the good work that you're doing.